Hello everyone, welcome back to Durar for Africa. In today's video, we provide the insights of President Isaias Afwerki on Africa's path to self-sufficiency and global cooperation. President Isaias Afwerki emphasizes the need for African nations to take ownership of their development, mobilize their resources, and address the continent's challenges. He also stresses the importance of moving beyond reliance on external aid and handouts, and instead focus on building accountable governments, fostering international cooperation, and leveraging partnerships to drive growth and progress. Through his remarks, President Isaias Afwerki underscores the significance of African nations taking charge of their own destiny, leveraging their natural resources and harnessing the power of global partnerships to overcome historical marginalization and achieve economic self-sufficiency. The conversations also touch on the role of China in Africa's development and the need for a new world order based on cooperation, complementarity, and mutual benefit. This video provides a glimpse into the thoughts and perspectives of a leader who is passionate about Africa's future and its place in the global community. Stay tuned, subscribe and like and share for more.
I mean, this stereotype of everyone coming and making statements, PR statements about achievements wouldn't make any sense. Let's be focused, okay? I will not talk about our achievements in agriculture, infrastructure, energy, water, and others. That will take time, okay? Now let's be focused. Occasions like this one, summits where people come, do their promotion about their achievements, and mostly PR exercise. Let's get out of this cycle, first and foremost, okay? I would like to focus on my own issue. Now people are talking about the resources of the continent, 60% of this endowment, 20% of this endowment. I mean, why can't you mobilize your own resources rather than extend your hands for handouts and charity? Is there a way of mobilizing these resources in the continent? How do you mobilize these resources? Can you mobilize the resources of Niger that are going to Europe, uranium and what have you? What about the mineral resources of this continent? Are you mobilizing these resources for the development of the continent, for climate change? What are these resources? Everybody is talking about their achievements in their own locality, in their own national borders, without even addressing the real issues challenging this continent. Talk about the continent's challenge and try to find solutions for this challenge, okay? We're talking about climate change, we're talking about resources, you are talking about so many things. Don't divert focus on non-issues, okay? Now, do your homework, come up with a definition of your goals and objectives, strategize, go for detailed plans, and then come to mobilize resources so that you implement your programs. Otherwise, I don't want to waste your time and waste my time talking about our achievements in Eritrea. Try to talk about some of the issues mentioned on this summit. These billions coming to this continent from anywhere, Europe, Americas, or any other place, you are inviting intervention in your own affairs. And this money coming from there, billions and billions, will be siphoned back there. Make sure that you mobilize your own resources so that you can be enabled to benefit from resources coming from outside. The promises of billions is no good. Yeah. Again, it's the focus that we need to talk about. You're talking about corrupt governments and comparing them with the private sector and promoting the private sector, the private sector, the private sector. You put in place accountable governments, non-corrupt government that will use national resources for the development of the majority. This is not a matter of polarizing the private sector and the public sector. These classical arguments about the private sector, the public sector, that makes sense at all. It's out of context. We need to be focused on this matter. We can't blame governments and bring non-governmental organizations to manage our affairs. That is phenomenal in Africa. Go everywhere. Non-governmental government, non-governmental organizations are managing governments and discrediting governments and replacing them with what they call private sector. Can you imagine this makes sense to anyone? Now talk about serious things, okay? You want to implement programs, articulate your goals and objectives in the first place, okay? Strategize on how you can achieve these goals and objectives. Then go for detailed plans, sectoral plans or industrial plans, and then mobilize resource for that. Give these plans and the resources to reliable hands, accountable hands. Government or private sector doesn't matter. It's not a matter of being with or against that party. How do you mobilize these resources to implement programs so that you address climate change?
Thank you.
Yes, focus. Don't get us to some classical discussions about what the private sector can do or the public sector can do. Corrupt governments will not implement any program at all. To talk about real government. Yeah.
你是非洲资深领导人，又是中国人民的老朋友。刚才我们在路上都谈到你在中国的情景，你对中国有深厚的感情。我对你的来访表示热烈欢迎。中国和俄里特利亚传统友谊深厚。 两国在俄里特利亚建国当天就建立外交关系。今年5月24日，我们将迎来两国建交30周年纪念日。中国人常说30而立，我们要以此为契机，推动两国关系实现更好发展。
Your Excellency Xi Jinping, President of the People's Republic of China. Allow me first to express my profound gratitude for the kind invitation that Your Excellency has extended to me. The highest impact that was the support of the People's Republic of China extended to the struggle of the Eritrean people for independence. Even though Eritrea and China established formal diplomatic ties in 1993, their practical strategic ties of friendship and cooperation had begun in earnest before 60 years. In this context, let me extend our profound gratitude to the Communist Party of China.
I think we can look at it from a broader context. And the broader context is the relationship between China and Eritrea. And it has developed to a strategic partnership on a number of issues. My meeting with President Xi Jinping is a continuation of that long-standing history of partnership, strategic partnership with China. From our perspective, it's a historic mission of humanity. Why the People's Republic of China stood on the right of the Eritrean people to independence immediately after independence, 1949, is historic. Independence of nations and peoples, which is the foundation of any cooperation program, economic or otherwise. That is the foundation of the relationship. Now, it's not only Eritrea and China, but we work together to influence the emergence of a new global order, which is again a mission for humanity. And China stands on the side of the peoples of the world. Eritrea, in solidarity with China, continues to uphold a mission for humanity. The imbalances globally, conflicts here and there, world wars, and continuous confrontations have been the philosophies of many minorities who have tried to dominate. It's hegemonistic. It's dominating as an attitude to suppress peoples and nations, and finally control or dominate global economy, it's been a misguided policy. It's a misconception of realities. It's misunderstanding of history. Now we see the future is very bright. The future is very bright because of Chinese achievement. China has proven to everybody in the world, the marginalized and those who entertain the ideas of domination, this is no more the rule of the game. People of the world will have to cooperate. The new world order is an order of cooperation, complementarity, and working together. It's not a world order for domination or hegemony. In spite of all the achievements, in spite of so many things happening globally, Africa remains to be a marginalized continent. Marginalized continent because of its economies. It's a subsistence economy. It's a very backward economy. You hear about famine here, famine there, conflict here, conflict there. All sorts of bad things are there. Now, Africa needs to be extricated from this state of affairs. How can Africa do it? It's the responsibility of the people in Africa. But definitely, Chinese contributions are very significant. For Africa to extricate itself, what China has done the last few decades in transforming the reality of Africa is only a beginning. And hopefully, the solidarity between China and Africa will create a synergy that will accelerate the process of extricating Africa from marginalization.